I'm going to share this on YouTube, on our YouTube page later in the day, so that you can at least have a recording. So diving right straight to it, today we're going to talk about 3 reasons why you don't really join Bitcoin, but you actually basically get involved in Bitcoin in 3 ways, so to say. So part of it also, as I said, today is the 30th of October, is the end month. So we're going to see a couple of news updates as well, what was key over the year. As I said, I'm going to record this, so I'm going to upload it later on our YouTube channel. So let me go ahead and share my screen and then get ready to start my session. Let me put that on full screen mode. Yeah, so most people, as I say, I checked on the Google search trends in Kenya, and I found that most people ask the question, how do I join Bitcoin? But really, it's not a matter of how you join, it's how you get involved within the crypto ecosystem. And I'm going to give you 3 reasons, as you see over there, why you don't really get to join Bitcoin. So the number 1 reason is that Bitcoin is a form of currency with no central control or issuer, that really it doesn't experience inflation per se, because it is a finite fixed supply of that amount. So if you look at the same in the same context of Bitcoin as a currency, have you ever asked yourself whether you join a currency? Yeah, we never join a currency, but we actually use a currency. We use a currency as a medium of exchange, as a use of account. That is what we use currency for. So in this case, you can use Bitcoin for that. So asking the question in this way, that you never join a currency, but we hear people saying, how do I join Bitcoin? How do I join Bitcoin? But really, today, I want to make it clear that you don't really join Bitcoin, but you can use it as a form of currency. That is number 1. Secondly, is that do you join an investment? As in, do you join because people at times think that they want to join Bitcoin as an investment. So really, Bitcoin in this case will be acting as a digital asset, in that it has been increasing in value over the years, and I'm going to share the actual figures from 2011 up to date. So to basically validate the point that Bitcoin is the best investment of this age. So you don't join Bitcoin as an investment, but you basically leverage from it as a form of investment. The third question, or rather the third point, was that Bitcoin is a form of technology. So you don't really join a technology, so to say, because I'm trying to break down the 3 points why you don't really join Bitcoin, but you can use Bitcoin as a currency, number 1. And number 2, you can use Bitcoin, or rather take advantage of Bitcoin's value as a digital asset. And then number 3, you get to use Bitcoin as a form of technology. That is now where we get to hear about the open blockchain technology. So in retrospect, you can hear that you don't really join a technology, you actually use a technology for your own ways of like improving basically humanity. So those 3 points ensures, or rather makes it clear that you don't really join Bitcoin, but you use Bitcoin as a currency. You take advantage of Bitcoin as an asset, that is, as an investment. And then, of course, you again use Bitcoin as a technology, because we never really join a technology. We actually use a technology. So as you can see over there, such terms are often misleading and do not give a clear picture of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in general. So what you really can do is, of course, and it's by preference, is of course use Bitcoin as a currency. So that is to make payments or accept it as a form of payment. That is as a point number one. And then, of course, for this, you need to run a Bitcoin wallet or a node. In that, you have to go to the Play Store or App Store and download a Bitcoin wallet and use it, of course, to either to make payments or to be paid in terms of our form of payment. And of course, very important, don't forget to secure it. That is what that is the very key thing. Don't forget to secure your Bitcoin wallet. And we normally take people through these sessions on how basically you can secure your Bitcoin wallet, because you everything is with you. And then secondly, the second point of in that you can use you can decide to take advantage of Bitcoin's volatility and its price swings, because being a new asset class, price swings are very it's very volatile. So knowing how this way now you can talk Bitcoin as being using Bitcoin to trade. Maybe you're trading Bitcoin, you're buying low, you're selling high. But of course, this requires a lot of experience. And of course, seeing over there, the recent surge to $6,000 that is this month. Actually, Bitcoin became the best performing asset class of the decade, with an annualized return of about 230% per year. That is the annualized return of Bitcoin, if you basically from 2011. So, reading from data compiled by CEO of Compound Capital Advisors, where I got this information, he examined actually about 17 best performing asset classes since 2013. So, he compared Bitcoin to other 17 asset classes or other investment channels that people know. So, and what he concluded was that since 2011, Bitcoin's cumulative returns exceeded 20 million %. That is crazy figures, but yeah, that is true. Far outpacing cumulative gains of the Nasdaq 100, the US large caps, that is in terms of company shareholdings, which recorded returns of about 541% and 282% respectively. So you see, it doesn't even compare by a second of or something. It's basically miles apart. And of course, on an annualized scale, Bitcoin returned 230%. That is now, if you break down it to yearly, that is 10 times higher than the Nasdaq 100, which was the second best performing asset class this year. So for the same period, US large caps recorded an annualized return of 14%, a high yield bonds of about 5.4%, while gold had 1.5%. So evidently, they are edges apart. And of course, being that we're in Kenya, we of course want to compare the same with our own Nairobi Securities Exchange. So Kenya's NSE combined investor wealth last closed at 2.3 trillion Kenya shillings. That is as of 2020, with an annualized return of about 8.9%. I got this information from investing.com. So you see, they are basically miles apart. But of course, with a lot of misunderstanding and misinformation, people tend not to look at this on such a scale. So they still box Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies as a new sort of thing. So people, of course, tend to avoid new things. So moving forward, as I conclude this section, lastly, as a technology, this is where, of course, blockchain comes in. This was now the point number 3, whereby you can use Bitcoin open blockchain as a technology. So developers, programmers are now building new applications and solutions on top of this. So this is where you have a whole variety of cryptocurrencies, from Ethereum to Litecoin to Cardano. There are very many. So they are all building on top of the blockchain technology. So you can use now Bitcoin, or rather cryptocurrencies, as a point number 3 as a technology. So there's nowhere where you can hear the word, or rather see the word whereby you join. It's basically using it as a form of a new technology. So There's of course, I'm sure you may have read about Facebook, who just rebranded to Meta. That is the new name. So I found it very interesting that that is an article at the New York Times. I saw it there. So the article was very intriguing and very involving in that the title was, "Are we in a metaverse yet?" That is what the article was saying. And this is actually way back before Facebook said they are rebranding. So crypto people say they are building on it. That is the metaverse. I'm sure you've heard about the NFTs and very many. Gamers might already be living it. The art world is cashing out on it. So web veterans are trying to save it. But what is really the metaverse, or what is the meta? So I'll be very quick in reading through the statement. So as a buzzword, the metaverse refers to a variety of virtual experiences, environments, and assets that gained momentum during the online everything shift on the pandemic. That is, of course, during COVID, everybody was forced to move online. So together, these new technologies hint at what the internet would become next. And that is why you can see Mark Zuckerberg, of course, saying metaverse is going to be the next big thing. And by doing that, he actually renamed the company Metaverse. Meta. So founders, investors, futurists, and executives have all tried to stake their claim in the metaverse, expanding on its potential for social connection, experimentation, entertainment, and crucial profit. So everybody is profiting, or rather want to get out the best of this. And reading from this guy called Matthew Ball, a venture capitalist and prolific essayist, described the metaverse not as a virtual world or space, but a sort of a successor state to the mobile internet. So in essence, it says a framework for an extremely connected life. There will be no clean, as in there's no clean before metaverse and after metaverse. He writes, instead, it will slowly emerge over times as different product services and capabilities integrate in the middle and meld together. So these are new concepts. These are new way of people engaging. And I'm going to be showing you actually an interesting video aired 2 years ago about the virtual reality. That is the VRA. Because if you've seen most people wearing some virtual reality, basically it's a virtual reality, meaning it's not physically sort of experience, but of course it's on a higher level of the mind. So speaking to CNET, this was actually in May. That is in May this year. Mark Zuckerberg shared his own Facebook-centric view. And I'm quoting him, he says, "We want to get as many people as possible to be able to experience virtual reality and be able to jump into the metaverse and to have these social experiences within that." He said, referring to the compound of company's experimental virtual reality environment, Horizon, which he hopes will explore using Facebook Oculus headsets. So this was way back, I think, when now he's trying to of course put together the metaverse and of course move everybody to the metaverse, of course, on Facebook. So I happened to watch this clip that was 2 years ago. Let me just show it to you. If you're watching this, let me just show it to you. It's actually very interesting seeing that the dog actually is surprised of this guy. Of course, the dog owner playing. I'm sure he was playing a game on the virtual reality. So this is the kind of world that we are now opening up to. So just watch it, and you'll be surprised to. Let me just make sure that the sound share the sound on it. So let me just play it. There you go. So look at the dog. It's So just by seeing that, I'm sure you could be wondering, okay, what is happening there? So the guy, I think, was playing a game, and I actually happened to look at the comments from on that video. So one user said he doesn't look confused, he looks concerned. That is a dog. Of course, it's like, what is this guy doing? The other guys, another comment was like, when your dog starts to worry about your mental health. So again, these are new ways of doing things, which at times people need to backtrack and basically think about. I mean, what is it actually that we're doing? Are people seeking more things on the outside instead of looking within? And maybe that's another topic for that day. So another user says, LOL, dog is debating himself if it's the time to call the mental institute. So it's actually an interesting world that we're heading into, and I don't know where the next 100 years how the world will be, but looking at this, I think this is where we are more or less heading into. So if you are looking to look at the article, I think it's over there. It's about the metaverse as published by the New York Times, and it has an interesting concept about the metaverse, which actually ties up to cryptocurrencies is now another virtual way of money. Now we are talking about the virtual world of living, whereby even people are buying clothes on this virtual world. So it's crazy as you can see. So I think that basically was my thought to share today, that we are not actually joining Bitcoin, but you're actually you're actually making use or getting the best out of a technology or an investment. That is what you can say. But not to say you can, of course, be part of a community. You can be part of a crypto community, or let's say in a WhatsApp group, because people say you can join a WhatsApp group, you can join a Telegram channel, but you cannot really join Bitcoin. You basically, as I said, the three things: you can use it as currency, you can, of course, make the best out of as an investment, and of course, use it as a technology. So I think that sums up my three reasons why you don't really join Bitcoin, but you get experience those points. So the last part of this session is about the news. So let's go through what stood out in the news. So the first news of the day, or rather that I saw this week, was I'm sure you may have heard about Shiba Inu. That's one of the cryptocurrencies, or rather meme coins, that have gotten popular over the last over this year actually. So this is what we're talking about. Shiba Inu now valued higher than Nissan and LG Electronics as price hits fresh records high. So you can imagine how old is the Nissan as a company? How old is LG Electronics? Then comes something that is called meme coins, and now it is becoming it's now valued higher than those companies that are more than more than, I think, well, I'm sure more than 60 years old. It's like Nissan, the company, in something that is less than 1 year old, is valued at more than that. So that is the kind of world that we're heading into, and of course, at times you may need to backtrack and of course see things from a different view. So as you can see over there, as per you today, the price of Shiba Inu has hit yet another record high of 0.0005364 earlier today, according to Coinbase data. So with the cryptocurrency market cap hitting 21 billion, Shiba Inu is now bigger than Japanese company Nissan, and that is at 19 billion, and South Korean tech company LG Electronics at 19.88 billion. So that is the kind of world we're living into, and of course, I don't know how long this will last, but we are yet to see. So the meme coin is up 87% this week, alone extending its streak of eye-popping gains. Of course, people need to be, as I said, be very careful when everything is heating up, because you don't know when everything will start correcting downwards. To other news, Philippines looks to blockchain voting for its diaspora. So now again, these are now some of the use cases I talked earlier about blockchain being used in the actual physical world where that we live in. So the National Elections Commission wants to upgrade its voting technology to improve voter turnout and public trust. Does blockchain check the boxes? That is what I think the country was asking. In more than 15 years that Filipino marketing executive Jenny Lee Frickel has lived overseas, she's never cast a vote in Philippines election. Now, not when she was studying in Belgium, not when she moved to Germany to work for DHL, the logistics company, highly, of course. So if people like her could vote on their smartphone, could they? And this is what now I think blockchain technology is seeking to offer as a solution. So this is interesting, and we're going to see more of this in the coming years to come. Other news: U.S. regulators exploring how banks could hold crypto assets. That is a FDIC chairman. So we are now moving to now banks and institutions wanting to consider Bitcoin as force banks to hold Bitcoin for custodial purposes. So a top US bank regulator said the US officials are looking to provide a clearer path for banks and their clients that are looking to hold cryptocurrencies in order to keep control over the fast developing asset. That is as per Jelena McWilliams, who chairs the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, told Reuters in an interview on Monday that a team of US bank regulators is trying to provide a roadmap for banks to engage with crypto assets. So again, these are the kind of developments that we're going to see more and more in the coming months and also years to come. And to other news, Indian government is reportedly considering regulating crypto as a commodity. So India, of course, we've seen them come from banning Bitcoin to saying you don't accept, to now they're saying they are considering to regulate it as a commodity, not as a currency. So officials from India, finance minister said any potential law on price would likely to come around at the time the government submits to a union budget of India, that is in February and next year. So I think this is going to be interesting as we go forward, because of course India comes on board with a serious number of you can say what numbers in terms of they are known to be the outsourcing hub for most tech companies, and of course Bitcoin, or rather crypto as a commodity, will of course allow more participants to come on board the crypto ecosystem. Moving across, Pakistan government not only against crypto investments, that is a high court calls for regulations. That is again another country that, of course, is going to see huge influx of such people. So the executive power will not oppose cryptocurrency investments, a high-ranking government official has told lawmakers in Pakistan. The statement comes as a regional high court has urged the federal government to regulate cryptocurrencies and formed a committee to look into the matter in the coming months. So you can see what's here. The Pakistan says it has no objection of investment in crypto. Of course, they just need to have a clear set of regulations on it. Other news: Central Bank of Sri Lanka completes proof of concept KYC platform. So Sri Lanka recent economic sanity seems to have been driving force behind its interest in cryptocurrency, and the government now news exploration to KYC technology. So these are now the kind of talk that we're going to be seeing in the coming months, whereby most governments, most companies are trying to work around how they can make use of this asset class. Moving forward, other news: MicroStrategy added 9,000 Bitcoin last quarter. Its search is now worth over $7 billion. That is as of September 13th. MicroStrategy held about 111,042 Bitcoins at an average price of $27,000. That is what they bought for. So of course they are now up by $7 billion in terms of valuation. That is of course that coming from the CEO Michael Saylor, who is actually been a very vocal and of course advocate in terms of cryptocurrencies as the hedge of to secure yourself against inflation. So he says today MicroStrategy is the world's biggest publicly traded corporate owner of Bitcoin of ours, and we will start to continue to evaluate opportunities to raise additional capital to execute our Bitcoin strategy. So you can see here they are basically going full into cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin in particular. So it's MicroStrategy is a software company. Of course, dating back, I think they are more than 10 years, I think, as a company you see. So other news is from Australia, whereby now they're saying Bitcoin ETF likely to be approved by Australia. Of course, last week, 2 weeks ago, the US approved the Bitcoin ETF, I think, for 3 companies. Now Australia is also trying to follow the pace. And we talked about last week about what ETFs are. ETFs are basically exchange traded fund. It's basically a derivative of the Bitcoin itself. And of course, it's not you need to do more research for you to enjoy the gains of an ETF. So Australian Securities Regulator ASIC stated that on Friday that Bitcoin and Ethereum are likely to be legally suitable by all necessary criteria as a basis for ETPs. That is what the report says. So of course, we're going to see a lot of these again in the coming future. Right here in Africa, CBDC could increase Nigeria's GDP by 29 billion in 10 years. That is President Buhari said, as of course he was launching the country's first CBDC. So the Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari suggests in a recent speech that the new Naira central bank digital currency could lead to an increase in value of its country's GDP by $29 billion in 10 years. So that's quite a huge amount of increase on the if so that happens. And of course, we know Nigeria is the biggest economy in terms of the numbers in people in human capital, that is in Africa. So to the last news, I think actually that is the last news. So I think that basically sums up my session today. I'm recording this also for those who may want to watch it later in the YouTube channel. So that basically sums up my session. If there's no, of course, you can comment on the video later if you so wish to have some clarity. But of course, it's interesting to know that everybody is learning every day, is getting to know a new thing every day, and of course, I'll beg to end there. So please, any question? Because since you are the only guest today, any question? It's a Saturday morning in Nairobi with a bit of rain, so I'm sure most people may have slept or something. So Liz, any question? Or we can end the session there. Right. So I'll end there and see you next Saturday, same time, for another session of Bitcoin 101, where of course we're going to be learning about something new as well. So thank you and have a blessed week ahead. Bye-bye.